I'm Becky Fawcett, a mom by adoption, an infertile blonde, a female founder, and an entrepreneur. Podcast rulebooks say you have to do the same exact intro for every single podcast. And you all know by now, if you've been listening, that I don't do that. My life early on centered around being perfect because I thought that's what you were supposed to do in life. And then I realized I wasn't perfect when I tried to have children. And that's my plot twist. I really do look for any opportunity to be different now. And I am an outspoken advocate who wants to change the world. And my friend and my guest today does know that sometimes gets me into trouble, but she loves me anyway, because it helps me make real connections with real people and tell real stories about the world I live in and love. Please welcome Maureen Doron, owner of Skirt in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, to the Fawcett Report.
I'm honored to be here.
So glad you're here. So we met a very long time ago before either one of us became a mom. And here we are, I don't know, like 30 years later, something like that. But do you remember the day we met?
I 100% remember the day we met. When you described yourself, I'm like, oh yeah, I knew her in the perfect phase.
Yeah.
You walked into the store perfect with a dog and a Louis Vuitton handbag or some great bag. You looked perfect. And I was like, oh, this woman is a boss. And then seeing the imperfect you come out over the years has been even more fun.
It's more fun.
To be
And people aren't expecting it. But I will never forget. I'm going to go back to the store, but I will never forget. After I adopted Jane, we went to visit one of my best friends up in Connecticut. And I pulled up in front of her house in my big black Yukon, jumped out in my New York head to toe black, had this cute blonde haired girl with me and a bike because we were going to the suburbs for the weekend. And I was like, shit, you can ride in the suburbs. You can't ride in New York City because you're like 3 or whatever she was. And Liz runs out of her house and hugs me and goes, oh my God, if I didn't know, boy, do you look perfect pulling up like that. And it really is like people make their narrative and you just don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah. Yep, totally.
I remember walking into your store. I think you'd been open, what, like a week?
Maybe.
For everybody listening, it was the age of juicy across our butts.
Was.
Juicy tracksuits. I mean, that ages us, but they were the coolest things at the time.
Yep.
You had this all white blot of a store. And I walked in and I will say this, I have very good gut reactions in life. And I knew you were something special the minute I walked into your store because I love fashion, I love clothes, and I'm always looking for something different. And I knew. And that was how it started.
Yeah. Yeah. You did look perfect. I stand by that. But like even in talking to you the first time 25 years ago, I detest small talk.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. I don't like it. No, there wasn't. Like I instantly felt connected. I instantly felt like you were like this PR boss, but I was like, oh, I can be myself with her. Like I can say what I'm really thinking.
Funny thing about PR. Okay. So that is the funny thing. Like when someone once said to me, like, I didn't know your life was falling apart when you were trying to have a kid.
No way.
I'm a publicist. What did you want me to do? Like
I had no idea.
And that's the thing. Like it's funny about the publicist and the perfect thing. Like I'm supposed to create an environment. That was my job. And so I was part of that. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, no, I loved your store. Tell me about the name because I love the name. It's so good.
The name came because I'm what they call a quick start in the entrepreneurial world. I had the idea open to the store. I opened the store. I got funding, wrote my business plan within a few months. But so the name, I was like, what should the name be? What should the name be? I didn't want it to be like my name. That didn't resonate with me. The hottest restaurant in Philadelphia at the time was Fork. Remember Fork?
Yeah.
It might even still be open. And I was like, that's a great name. That is such a cool name for a restaurant. And growing up, my guy friends always called girls skirts, throwback to the Rat Pack. I don't know. It was a different time. We weren't offended. And I was like, that's kind of where the name.
Yeah. It's just it's so good. But I love that story because I don't know, it's nostalgic. And where you are, for those of you who don't know, Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania is part of Philadelphia's main line. And it's just nostalgic. It's old school. It's like history. It's generational families. It's stores and restaurants that have been around for a while. It's beautiful brick and stone homes and big trees that the world doesn't have anymore. It's nostalgic. So I love that. I've always loved that part about the store. And it always makes me smile. So you had this store, and by little store, it was
Seattle. I think it was like 1,000 square feet. And it was actually an old house that
Mhm.
had been converted into a flower shop when I took it over. And my dad was handy and he built the dressing rooms, and my brothers and my sister painted, and we converted the radiator cover
Mhm.
into my cash counter.
Oh
And
my
like
gosh.
I was on a shoestring. It was
Yeah.
IKEA all the way.
Yeah.
But it had good feng shui. Like it had lots
Yeah.
of lights. It had a good vibe
Yeah.
when you walked into
Yeah.
that little space.
No, it was great. And I would imagine people are listening going like, when you go to open a store, how do you know what style you want to be? How do you know
Mhm.
what brands you're going to get? And maybe your dream
Mhm.
brand at the time won't sell to you because you're brand new, who knows? But
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
how did you
Mhm.
figure that out?
It definitely transitioned from when I opened to what we quickly evolved into. I was 24. So I had just graduated from college and I was living in New York City. I went to school in New York City. So my style had definitely been influenced by New Yorkers, but I was going back to my hometown and I thought I was going to open a store for Villanova students. We're just,
Hmm.
a mile down the road from Villanova and Bryn Mawr College and St. Joe's and all of these colleges, because that's what
Interesting.
I knew. I was 24.
Yeah.
What did I know? I was priced for that customer. This was before there were so many options.
Yeah.
Like I
No
think
online. There was no online.
nothing
No.
that didn't no. My big like expensive brand was like Nanette Lepore or Rebecca Taylor, like let's sprinkle in. But I was
Yes.
afraid. I was like, "Ooh, can I sell that price?" And then I quickly figured out I was across the street from a great hairdresser and Ada Armani. Those top stylists started sending me their clients, and
Interesting.
they would be coming over with like foils in their hair
Oh my gosh.
because they were really rooting for me. The stylists there, they were lovely, and those were young moms.
Yeah.
And I quickly figured out like, oh, this is my target audience. And so I pivoted real quick, started digging deeper into those slightly more expensive brands. And ever since then, that has been my target customer, like 30 to 55.
Oh, good. I'm 55. So this means I'm out come June.
You don't ever age out. I'm going to be 50 next year. So I'm aging out of
Oh
my
my
own
God.
turn.
You're going to
No,
be aged
we
out.
have amazing customers that are like in their,
Yeah. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. No, I know you do. It's so amazing. So I don't even know what to talk about first. So you're
Okay.
going to pick. So we can talk about how you've evolved. Like how quickly did you outgrow that store? Where
Mhm.
did you go next? When you had more money, what did you do with it? What was your a white whale of it brand so far that you were
Mhm.
like, I'll
Mhm.
never get that brand. And then they said
Mhm.
yes.
The brand is right now. I just got it about a year ago, and it's Ralph Lauren collection. Polo forever. Like you and I are from the same,
Yeah.
hitting that TJ Maxx, looking for
Yeah.
polo at TJ Maxx
Yeah.
always is part of my stealing my brother's button down shirts, of course. So I'm really excited to have that brand, but then to have the collection. We're the only independently owned boutique in the country that carries both Polo Ralph Lauren and Ralph Lauren Purple Label,
Yeah.
but they like to be referred to as Ralph Lauren Collection. And I love mixing both price points together. But Ralph Lauren Collection, I mean, Ralph is having a major moment right now, and
Yeah.
it just happens to coincide with when we just picked up the brand. I'm
I
so glad
feel like
we.
he's always having a major
But
moment. I mean,
for me,
yeah.
always, like if there was ever a dream brand in my 20s, before I opened a store that I just would want to purchase, it would be Ralph Lauren Collection. Like he is just the epitome of style.
Yeah.
To carry Ralph Lauren Collection is really amazing. I think the first one that like opened the gateway drug into designer brands for me was Max Mara. And, a camel coat from Max Mara
Mhm.
is just the definition of chic for me. I love clothes, obviously, but like I never want to alienate a customer. We are not a designer store.
Yeah.
We are a store for contemporary women that believe that you should mix all price points to get the
Yeah.
perfect wardrobe.
And that might put like a sequin top with pair of jeans.
100%. My style icon is probably Jenna Lyons because I love the juxtaposition.
Yeah.
I love doing super preppy with super edgy,
Mhm.
super dressy with super casual. I love
Mhm.
sequins and sneakers. I love seersucker and leather. Like when you
Yeah.
have
Like
the opposites that pull like that, it's just so good.
I think I once saved a picture of her in a feather skirt with a J. Crew white button down men's
Yeah.
shirt with it. And it was just so good.
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever pull that off, but it was just on her.
Yes, you could. That
I
looks
don't
like that
know.
sounds like you.
It's not black.
It could be a black feather skirt and a black
feather skirt.
button-down
Yes,
shirt.
perfect. Everybody's got one. What's your signature? Your signature.
My signature is a white button-down shirt. I have insane amounts of
How
them in
many
my
do you
closet.
have?
Like the section of white button-down shirts probably takes up in like linear space in hangers like a couple feet.
Now, what do you do with all your clothes? Because you
I edit.
do
I
you have
do not
and do you have like a
closet.
Poshmark page that you sell, or
No.
like what do you do?
I give it away to like my family and friends for the most part. I do sell some stuff on the real. It's because like I just need them to they come
No,
and pick
it's
it up.
great
It's
that- it's
convenient. They
great
come
that
and
you
pick it
do.
up and I have a big family. I have cousins.
Yeah, no,
and,
that's amazing.
and the rules that work for me too. I'll like definitely
Yeah.
bring in piles for them. But I definitely edit. Like I don't have a big closet. I don't want a big closet. I have certain pieces that I've had for a really long time, but I clean out.
Oh my
closet
gosh.
a couple
Okay.
times a year.
What is your oldest piece that you still use and wear? And tell me about it, because I've got mine.
Okay, my oldest piece is oh god, this designer doesn't exist anymore, but probably do you remember Tracy Reese?
Yeah.
It's a Chanel inspired tweed coat with a fur collar. I purchased it from 25 years ago, like the first season of skirt, and I just wore it to my son's high school graduation.
So I graduated from college in 1992, went to work for a magazine down in Washington, D.C., and I would go shopping at Mazda, if anybody knows that, and it's got Nordstrom's and Neiman's and whatever. I bought a 2.5 to 3 inch wide Donna Karan black belt that is the softest thing. I had no business buying this in 1992 because I made so little money. I could barely afford to eat cat food. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I somehow bought this belt. I still have it. I do have to wear it on the absolute last hole and might have to go to the shoe man. But every time I put it on, I'm like, 1992.
I mean, Donna
Karan.
Karan.
Like,
In
it was
1992,
such a
Donna Karan was
splurge.
it.
I
Oh,
was so proud of like my job, and yeah, so that is every time I put it on, I'm like, certain things do last. So one of the things I think about your store that is so amazing, if we can fast forward to modern day, is that gone are the independent boutiques. No one can survive. Let's face facts. If you look at, I will not name names, but the national brands cannot survive because they're making very bad financial decisions and they are a mess. But for those of us who love clothes, who really don't think that online is the answer for everything, you're like a beacon of hope for a lot of people there. Like not only your customers, but for like the young person who's thinking, I could actually be her because she's made it in a sea where everybody else is dropping and they can't hold a candle to online deals or the ease of an overnight, or I don't even know, but I like buying in person. I like touching it and feeling it. And I still don't think, even if you're in one brand, that it's the same size every single time
no
they
way.
cut. And I think
No
you
way.
need to try stuff on. But when we did our thing at the holidays last year, all my New York friends were like, why can't someone like her exist in New York? And I'm like, probably because the rents in New York are obscene right now.
Yeah.
But
That's why. But
everybody, all my friends were talking about you because everybody misses it. Like Intermix isn't even in New York.
I know.
It's gone.
Scoop. Yeah.
It's all gone.
Yeah. The Gap bought Intermix, and that's when I opened Scoop was it. Like that's
Yeah.
who I wanted to be when I grew up. So to see them go out of business was like
Well, now
real
she's on Walmart.
depressing.
Isn't it Walmart?
Yeah, I think so. But for me, convenience, this is not a sexy answer, but it's the truth. Convenience is king for women. We're so busy. We feel so guilty for taking any time for ourselves
Right.
that we have to make it really convenient to shop. I'm competing with online retailers on the convenience front. I'm trying to say we are going to make it easier for you to shop here than to shop online. How many times have you bought stuff online and then you need to return it and it sits in that box in the corner of your room or the trunk of your car and you're going to drop it at the UPS store or whatever and you never return it and it's like weighing on you and stressing you out? It's easier to just pop in. We have great parking. We have great hours. Try it on, not deal with any returns. We want to make it super easy for you to shop with us and fun. And our return policy is we have no return policy. I don't care how long you've had it. If you are not happy with it, whatever you want me to do, I will do it, whatever it takes to make it right. And even the hours, I remember when my children first started that like nursery school age where you
Mhm.
can drop them at nursery school for like 3 hours. And you're like, okay, I need to get everything done right before pickup. And I would drop Luke at this little preschool down the street from work at 8:30, and I would be like, okay, I'm going to run my errands and then I'll pick him up and then I'll go into work. And I'd be like, okay, 8:30, let's go. And I knew I only had till 11 before I had to turn around and go back, and nothing opened until 10. I was like, what the heck? Instantly, we shifted our hours to open at 9 and to be open until 7 so that you can go before work, before school drop off and pick up, or after. Everyone on my street was closed on Sundays. I was like, no way. We're open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I tried to give those types of things. I was my customer in many ways.
Yeah.
So I always was asking myself, like, what would I want? What would I want this? Would I want to do this? Would this work for me? So that's one reason I think.
When you shop, there's nothing worse to me than a stranger saying, "Oh, that looks great on you." And I'm like, "It looks like hell and you don't even know who I
Yeah.
am." I
Yeah.
think one
Yeah.
of the great things about your store is that your sales team is not a revolving door. They've been with you for a very long time
Mhm.
and they
Mhm.
know us, even
Mhm.
me, who barely pops in because I don't live there anymore. It's like cheers, like Norm when
Yeah.
you walk through the door. And they're like, you know what? We did get a couple good black pieces in, Becky. Let us show you. Or like, you know that
That's
jean you
right.
bought? Like they remember, and I have
Yeah.
friends who shop with you, and it's the
Yeah.
same thing. Like people when they know you make you feel special and that is part of the whole experience. It's not supposed to be anonymous online. It's supposed to be like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know you love that dress. I'm going to tell you you might not love the fit, but try it, and I've got a substitute if you don't like the fit.
We worked really hard on developing core values as a small business. That's something that like you don't prioritize. That's like something for corporate businesses. But maybe 10 or 15 years ago, I decided, no, I think this is important. And we hire and fire around those core values. So everyone who works for me is actually a kind
Yeah.
person that I actually would want to spend my time with. So that is like right off the bat, non negotiable. But then there's a client facing pretty answer and there's the
Yeah.
real answer. And like I said, I don't do small talk. So I am transparent about this to
Yeah.
clients, fellow entrepreneurs, whoever. It's just good business
Yeah.
to not bullshit your clients.
Yeah.
It's just good business to be honest and think of the long time. We call it the lifetime value of a
Yep.
customer. And if I want people to shop with me for 20 years, then I better give them really good, truthful advice so
Yeah.
they keep
It's
coming back.
called your butt looks big in that, and get you something else. Like everybody
Because
wants a best friend that tells you that, right? Like everybody wants. It's like
Right,
with your spinach
right.
in your teeth. You want the friend who's gonna be like, you need to go to the bathroom.
I'm not talking you into a pair of jeans that to make a sale because I know that you'll never come back
You'll
if
never
you
wear
if
them,
I'm
and
not
then you'll
telling
be
you the
pissed
truth.
you spent whatever you
And
spent
I
and never
say
wear them.
the biggest deterrent for me, so I remember this when I'm planning the business, is like I look at something hanging
Yeah.
in my closet year after year or month after month, even the tags on it.
Yeah.
It has such a
No, it's
negative
bad.
connotation in my head that you don't want to go back to that
Yeah.
store. And I never want to be that store.
Right.
That's why I'm like, bring it back in. We just want to be with you for your lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, we just want to help you build your closet. We want to do it all. We want to we hope we have most of the real estate in your closet
Yeah.
that we know we're not going to have all of it. And
Yeah.
we just want to help you do that in the long term because it's the right thing to do. And also it's the right business decision
That's it.
for us all to make.
That's it. You know what? It's so easy to be kind in this world, and I'm always amazed. What did you make, 10 extra dollars by being a jerk and like talking them into the jeans that were
Mhm.
3 sizes too small for
Mhm.
you?
Or
Like
saying you
what?
can't return that because
Yeah.
I'm gonna save my couple $100 over that, but I'll never get you back in here
Oh my
again.
God.
And
I
I
have to
want
tell you
that.
the funniest thing. So I will not name stores because I do like this store in New York, but I once, this was years ago, I ordered a very expensive pair of sneakers and then
Mhm.
came to my senses that I really didn't need them. And I sent them back because it was online. But there was a store in New York. But in New York,
Mhm.
the convenience is not always
Yeah.
perfect because
Yeah.
it's New York, it's big,
Yeah.
it's whatever. And whatever, I thought they were returned. A week or so later, I get a package in the mail. I'm like, that's weird. I didn't order anything. And it was the sneakers back with a letter
Oh
that said,
my
I
God.
missed the return window by 2 days. Mhm.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's senior there. And I said, I sent them a picture of the letter. I go, that's pretty rough. I've been a
Mhm.
customer since longer than I've lived in New York. That's That takes some, whats. But
Yeah.
at any rate, fair. I missed the cutoff by 2 days. But if you had pulled up my account,
Yeah.
perhaps you would have seen that now I'm going to tell that story. Come on. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And thank God I just decided I didn't need the sneakers and they fit. What if it had been something
Right.
that was wrong? Then I would have been really stuck. But at any rate, so I want to talk about there's so much with you because you're so much more than just a clothing store. I don't know, you're really a destination for so many things. In the chapter of my life and this podcast that All Roads Lead to Help Us Adopt, I believe that you were one of my early cheerleaders. They said, you call me for whatever you need. And we started doing events together. And that was just the loveliest thing on the planet and so fun. But what has really developed with your store and your philanthropy is pretty cool. Help Us Adopt is lucky partner for the last 2 years of your holiday program, which has just been so fun and so wonderful. But you just completed what I think is one of the most clever marketing things that you do is your schools. Talk about that. Talk about the school program because I think it's great for everybody, for you as a store, for the moms, for the schools who get to have events and raise money.
First, I want to say, I remember getting your birth announcement for Jane, and I didn't know that you were even struggling. Back to us talking about how I just thought you were perfect, and
a lot of people
and
said
you are perfect.
Back then that I didn't want to not be a size 4, so I wasn't getting pregnant. And my joke is back then I was a size 2, so get your facts straight. And then they also said my career was too important, so I couldn't be pregnant. And little did they know I was trying desperately, spending tens of thousands of dollars, getting pregnant and having miscarriages. But the stories that circulated behind my back were pretty bad.
But what I remember about the birth announcement was how perfectly lovely you stated it.
Yep,
I think you said,
I know.
Born and placed in our arms. Like, I still get chills hearing that.
I was in the delivery room when Jane was born. And so I wrote, it works better if you are adopting a child that has a different birth date than the day you meet that child, because that works. But so I actually met Jane the second she came into this world. So I was like, what do I say? And I was like, born and placed in our arms, October 29th.
How many years ago was that? And I still remember.
She's 20. She's 20. Yeah.
So that's how I
Thank you.
knew. And I was like, wow, I just thought I want to get to know this person better. Like, I just thought how just elegant and truthful and
That's it.
heartfelt and all of the things.
I'm going to own that.
Yeah.
Because that is the moment when I could have pretended that none of the shit happened. I could have said, welcome Jane Fawcett to the world, October 29th. I probably would have known all the shit behind. I could have left it all. And that was really the moment of owning it, of saying, this child did not come from my body. And I think now that I look back on it, I don't even think I knew how brave I was by doing that, because people don't like to talk about the messy crap. They like to go on, they fix the problem, and they like to go on as if it never existed. And I've made a career now of the problem.
So like, that was my first clue into like, oh, this lady has an interesting story. I also want to say that I think maybe the second time I met you that we just talked about earlier, you said, how am I helping you? Like, that was your response. You knew I couldn't afford you, but you still, one of the first things you said to me is, I'm going to help you. Like, what are we doing here?
I remember what I did.
Called Meg from Philadelphia Magazine. And this was in the era of zero social media.
Yeah.
Zero. You could pay tens of thousands of dollars for a print ad in a magazine that I could have never afforded. Or you were maybe lucky enough to get press, and you got me in Philadelphia Magazine, which was the place to be when you were a small business 25 years ago, within my first year of being open. And it put me on the map. It changed the trajectory of the business. And then Philadelphia Magazine became aware of me from that first article that you got me. And we got Best of Philly, and all of those things started with that one article. So I just want to say thank you. And of course, when I started to learn about your personal journey, I was like, okay, not that I wanted to do something. I didn't even think of myself as somebody who could ever do something to help you, but I just knew I wanted to be connected to you. I just knew.
But this is my point. When people say to me, I need to have purpose. How do I get involved? I can't, like,
Yes.
this
Yes.
is it. Like,
Yes.
the way you week together, you were like, I need to support you, but I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I don't
Yes.
live here anymore. I don't have a
Yeah.
house. I could
Yeah.
have a cocktail party in your store
Yeah.
because I don't have a
And
house. We could do a
and
shopping night. We could do a
yes.
whatever. And
Yes.
that's how it starts. And you, by doing that, provided me something that I didn't have anymore locally and a backdrop or whatever it is. And I don't know, it's just so easy to figure out a way that you can be really helpful to a charity.
Well,
It's not
that's what
always about the check, right? It's about a
right.
partnership.
It's about what yes, and it's just about look, I think probably women can relate to this or people can relate to this, and that's I'm an entrepreneur, I'm busy, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, but I feel a little guilty. I want to give back.
Yeah.
And not just by writing a check. I want to give somehow my time and it's hard sometimes to figure out how to do that or
Yeah.
how you could help or what would help. So I had that pull inside me and just meeting you were the first charity I ever worked with, and you taught me because of your background in PR and because of who you are as a person and the charity you started. Oh, this is how you do it.
Well, it's interesting because
I had never
always
done
said
it.
to
You
people,
taught me about you taught
well,
me
that's so
the
nice.
principle of like business, how to do it, and
Oh,
how to
well,
do it
that
right.
now you're giving me too much credit.
I
think.
remember
That's
the
good.
very first. That was my first. I can
Yeah.
remember you got up and spoke. We were trying to raise money, and people were so by like people shopping, which is great, and we still
Yeah.
do that, and it's definitely a tenet of our business now. But like you spoke in a way, and you made it so authentic that it went
Yeah.
beyond that. People wanted to be involved with your charity
that's
from
it.
hearing
So
you speak.
I always say to stores or whoever wants to partner with me, look, like, you got to use your list too. You got to use it. And because, and this is, and they always think I'm after something, right? They always think I'm trying to steal I don't want your customers. This is why I want your list. I want you to email or post or send out. Back then, we had, I think, Vanessa from Two
Who I
Paper
still
Dolls,
work with.
who we love. We bonded over our mutual love for Chocolate Labs way back when. And she donated the invitation, which was amazing because those are
Yes.
expensive. And you sent it out to your people and I sent it out to mine. And the reason I do that is this. I got a board member out of that. One of your customers came home from adopting her child, went through her mail, and there
Oh
was an
my God.
invitation from you. And
I don't
she
think I
joined
know
my
this.
board for a very long time and was very instrumental in helping me build this in Philadelphia. And then another person, same sort of thing, got the invitation. She may have been in the process of adopting, same sort of thing. Maybe not that event, but another one. She's still involved in our work and she still talks about it. She still talks because she was like, getting that invitation. I love Skirt. And she introduced me to you. It was like these kindred spirits were coming together for an event. I met you, Becky, through this. That's why I do it. When I partnered with some people in LA and some influencers, they were like, all you want us to do is talk about it on social media. I'm like, yep, guess what I got out of a couple posts on social media? 2 board members. That's it. I don't want you to necessarily sell your soul to help my cause. I want you to expose me to new areas of people. I want you to get our word out. I'm not going to ask anybody for money. We all know I raise money by not asking for money. I need money, but I'm not going to come shake anybody down. That's not my style. The more people who talk about us, I got 2 emails within 48 hours of this woman posting, and both made very large donations and said, I'm a mom by adoption. How can I talk to you? And I called the influencer, and I still today, I'm like, do you know how much money you helped me raise by those 2 posts? Because it's cumulative. This is what we do. We talk about things and we refer people. And this is where I say it's so easy to be kind. Hello.
I mean, one of the things we say all the time internally here is givers get, givers get. With everything, whether it's you're giving to your customer, you're giving to your coworker, you're giving to a charitable partner, you evolve as you
Thing
be
that
into
with Meg at Philadelphia Magazine. Meg was the lifestyle editor, still friends with her today. I ran into her a couple times in New York randomly. It's always fun. But, she was very good to me as a publicist. I had the right clients. I knew that. That's also what you do to editors to become valuable to them as publicists is I was like, I got a tip for you that you're going to love. It's not my client, but I'm giving you a very nice little birdie in your ear. Then I become valuable to her.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I become a resource to her because I have the right eye to give her what she needs. And that
Yeah.
was part of my job as a publicist, was
Yeah.
to become invaluable to editors and producers and all that kind of stuff. And it really was, it's not no sweat off my back. Also, I do say if I really do wish you'd been my client at some point. I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, damn, that's like the one white whale for me that never always got away. And then I moved to New York.
I never hired a publicist,
I know you don't need it,
but
but
it only would have been you.
at any rate, it was like one of those things that, like, if you do something nice, then maybe a client, potential client's like, how did you do that? What else could you do for me? That's
Mhm.
it. It's just like,
Mhm.
and there's no real agenda. I
No.
meant what I said when I called her. I'm like, you're going to have to get in your car and come out here, but you're going to thank me. Bye. What have I missed so far? Should we talk about, we need to talk about the skirt for schools.
Okay. So I would say like you got my juices flowing for how I could answer this call that was coming inside. I want to do more. I want to give more. And how could I do that and incorporate it into my everyday life and my business? So what started with Help Us Adopt has now become a few charity partners that I really feel close with. So I started after I got involved with you and Living Beyond Breast Cancer. Those were like my two people that I
love
really,
Living Beyond Breast Cancer. I was on their board when I lived in Philadelphia. They're great.
and that this was 20 years ago. They were small and just wonderful to work with. So I decided to send out a questionnaire to my clients and say, where do you spend your time? Would you like to see my business, which I'm so grateful for you supporting? How can we give back to things that are important to you? And many women talked about their involvement in raising money for their kids' school. It goes back to just family being the cornerstone for so many women and what drives them to do all of the amazing things they do every day. So that's when this idea came to me that I was going to not pick and choose certain schools. I couldn't. I love all the schools. There's so many schools in our area. We're densely populated. So I thought, how can I do this and give back to all the schools? So we started something about 10 or 11 years ago, and we called it Skirt for Schools. And it's like taking the Help Us Adopt party that you taught me how to throw and throwing it for an entire week for all of the schools in our neighborhood. So for 1 week, we donate a portion of the sales back to any school that wants to participate, and we make it a fun competition.
At school. It's great. And you post it online and you have your
Post it
like
online.
little
It's
winner
definitely
board, your
social. We have a
thermometer
leaderboard.
measure.
Every school gets 10% of what they spend, but the school that shops the most gets 20%. And then it took a couple of years of doing that until I got a tug in my heart thinking, okay, this is great. And people really respond to this. People loved it. They had so much fun with it. But I thought, what do I need to do to make myself feel some certain way about this? And that's when I decided that I would take the amount that I was donating to the winning school and match it for a school that was really in need. This year, the Episcopal Academy won
Mhm.
and they got a great big check. But also, I personally matched that amount and donated a check or the same amount to the Jesus School, which is a school in Philadelphia that is self-funded for kids in that neighborhood. It's an amazing school. My brother and his wife are both Philadelphia public school teachers. So over the years, I've
I love
donated
that.
to their schools. I changed it up the last couple of years has been the Jesus School because I've just have a special fondness for them. But that's how I blended giving back to the causes that matter to my clients and also fulfilling this need or pulling me to, I admire you so much and you've given your life to this work. And I'm not able to give my life to it, but I try to find pockets where I can give back.
Well, I would say as an observer, you do more than your fair share of
Wow.
philanthropic work through your store. I don't think you've ever said no to me.
No. Are you
I
kidding?
don't think you say no. I mean, and it's fun. These parties are fun.
Yeah.
They're fun because you have great clients and you have great
Yeah.
staff. What is if we have one more question, like what's the one like fashion piece of advice you have for people? Like I always tell people, go up a size if it's tight. It will look better. Cut the label out if it bugs you, but it will look better
Yeah.
than squeezing yourself into the small size.
I think you dress for how it makes you feel. Even if you really tune out the trends, the voices, thing in your head telling you don't look good enough, and you put on something and you pay attention to how it makes you feel, and it makes you feel good, that's yes. Clothing can really change how you feel from day to day. I think that I used it as a kind of armor as a young woman figuring out my own confidence. And I thought at some point I told myself, like, okay, I might not be the prettiest girl in the room or the thinnest girl in the room, but I am going to be the best dressed girl in the room. I've come a long way from that insecure young woman. And now what I take out of that now is clothes can make you feel a certain way. They can make you feel really strong. They can make you feel really happy. Colors that make you like feel happy, like wear those. Wear what makes you it sounds like a cliche, but like, and that goes for everything too. If it makes you feel thinner, yes. I'm not completely touchy-feely about this. Everybody wants to look their best, but like it's about how the clothes make you feel. And I would say how that has evolved now that I'm 49 and not 24 when I first opened was how it makes me feel more confident or stronger, but also I will not sacrifice comfort for fashion anymore.
Exactly.
I just won't. That doesn't make you feel good. That doesn't make you feel like you could, like you're the smartest, toughest person in the room. If you're uncomfortable, like you have to be comfortable in your clothes, or else you're just your body language is just not going to make you look good.
Clothing should be about like getting dressed for you, not for the rest of the world. It's what
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. But you definitely feel different when you got dressed in the day than
I
in
would never
clothes
tell
versus sweatpants. Like
100%. Look, I can rock a cool sweatpant with a blazer and like cool sneakers and all of that. But look, I would never tell you, Becky, you should wear more color in your wardrobe.
Well, people do tell me.
Don't listen to them because you feel great in black. So wear all black and nothing else. Do not compromise.
Yeah.
Listen to your inner voice that's telling you, oh, I feel good in this. And do more of that.
Yeah, exactly. You're so good. Your story is so good. One last piece of advice. Someone's listening to this. They're like, I want to open a boutique.
You surround yourself with people smarter than you. Find out what part you're really good at and what comes naturally to you and do that. And then find experts to help you with the rest and pay your people. My people are everything. Like they are my most valuable asset. My team, we all own this business together. Like I knew that finding great people and paying them the most I could absolutely afford to was the way to grow this business.
Exactly. So good. Tell everybody where they can find you.
On Instagram at Shop Skirt and Facebook. And our website address is shop-skirt.com. And we ship everywhere.
You ship everywhere. It's so good. I'm so grateful you were on today. I love our friendship. Here's to 30 more years.
Me too. Yes. Let's do it.
30 seconds with Becky Fawcett. So I did not know that my charity event, Help Us Adopt's charity event with Skirt was her first. And I really am so honored that she gave me credit for teaching her how to do charity events. That's a huge honor. I do think that I know how to do them. When I came from the luxury lifestyle magazine world, so I did a lot of this stuff there, and then I had a PR firm. And whenever I would work with my clients, whether it was a restaurant or a store of whatever kind, I would always say, you got to give back to your community. Pick something. Pick something that's also important to you. So whether that meant animals, children, cancer, whatever means something to you as an owner and your customers, let's go do it. And then I would also tell them this because they were like, well, we don't want to pay for the party. We just want their people to come in and shop. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You have to pay for the party and then you have to give them a percentage and you have to use your list. It's not just their list. And people fought me on that over the years and whatever, it's fine. But I know it's a good recipe. So if you're listening to this and you really want to do a good charity event and you're a store, give it your all. It's charity, for God's sake. It will come back to you in ways you never imagined. And that is not the place to cut a corner. Anyway, I do them all the time for Help Us Adopt, and I've been doing them for 30 years. They're really fun. 30 seconds with Becky Fawcett. I want to thank you all for listening to Fawcett Report today. I'm so glad you were here, and I hope you see the world a little differently, and maybe you'll use your voice to make a difference. You can follow the Fawcett Report on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can message me on Instagram and Facebook, and I will respond as long as you are not mean, because I don't do mean. And finally, if you're curious about my adoption, advocacy, and family building work through helpusadopt.org, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook as well, and also through the website. See you next time.